That's what took me so long getting here. Some technical.
Mm.
Ladies and gentlemen, you are listening to Deathmatch Russell Podcast. Let's get it on!
Come into the ring, step into the fire, see what you want, baby. If your heart has desire, get up, get knocked down, get up, get knocked down, get up, get knocked down, down. Deathmatch Russell Podcast. 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 Deathmatch Russell Podcast.
And good evening, everyone. You're listening to another episode of the Deathmatch Russell Podcast. And my guest tonight, Hellbound, Mitch, Malik. I got it right.
No, you said Hellbound. It's the Hellhound, Mitch Malik.
The Hellhound. Yeah, you know what? The Hellhound, Mitch Malik. How are you tonight?
I'm doing all right, man. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. What's today? Thursday. Yesterday was a crazy night. I was watching a little bit of AEW. Hell of a night to see the one return of one John Moxley.
You know, I didn't actually watch the show, but I saw his promo.
Yes, that was like, yeah, talking about scars, and that's true though.
Dude, and he looks so good too, man. Like from where he was before he went into rehab to now, he looks amazing.
I know, and he just had a match not recently, recent with at Game Changer with Nick fucking Gage,
Yeah.
And they just tore the house down, and man. Now he's coming back and facing the 187 homicide. My gosh, like the road is for the guys are on a roll this year. Wrestling's coming a long way. I'm sure you noticed that Game Changer is hot as heavier. I'm sure you noticed that on the independence.
It went from being like you barely heard anything about them at the beginning of the pandemic, and then now it's just they're everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
They're the biggest indie promotion in my opinion. They're huge.
And I'm sure you know a lot of the talent. I'm sure you know a lot of the guys as well. I'm sure you.
I've met quite a few of them. Yeah.
Billy Starks one.
Billy, yeah, me and Billy trained at the same school actually, at Grindhouse in Jeffersonville. So yeah, I've known Billy for a couple years now. And then a lot of the other people have been popping up. I've met throughout my time, like Akira. I've met Akira quite a few times. He's a really good guy.
Yeah, he is.
And like I said, Billy, of course. Billy, that kid's one of the most impressive wrestlers I've ever met, man. Like, ridiculous.
Yeah, I know. She came from that, just small little wrestling to, little promotions, and just look where she is, doing good.
When I walked in, because the first time I walked in at Grindhouse to start training, she was there because she always comes, and when she can get work in, she gets work in because she's dedicated, right? And I met her. I hadn't really heard of her before then, because this was two and a half, about 2 years ago. And I was like, I figured she was an adult because she was in there moving and working the way she was. And somebody's like, no, she's like 15. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
So good. Yeah.
That's like the age of Marco Stunt when he first trained, like when he was young and just coming into the business, another guy from out that, it's like crazy. Just the small world of, wrestlers who now are making, are out there, and the future is bright for them,
Oh, yeah. Most definitely.
I mean, her and her boyfriend, Marcus Mathers, another student, student of the H2O Academy. And just
I remember got to meet Marcus. I actually saw him in a match. He Paradigm last Friday night. He faced Big Beef. And match was great. I was not that wasn't the first time I'd seen Marcus, but that was the first time I'd seen him fight somebody like Beef. And wow, such a good match. He moves so well, so fast.
So maybe that should be like one guy you would like to, if he comes back and you could go one-on-one.
Marcus, yeah, that would be a good match. Beef's actually one of my dream matches. Any chance, whenever somebody's ready to put me against Beef, I'm gonna be so happy. Such a
Yeah. A lot of you know what I love I love the Paradigm. It's really the matches coming out of the talent pool. It's phenomenal.
Oh yeah. Paradigm has been a promotion I've been helping out with a lot, and I did finally I will be making my debut by WTV at least because I've already done the match. But about 2 weeks, their UWFI Contender Series, I'll be on there. It's episode 5 this season.
Ooh, and who are you facing in that one?
Someone you probably know quite well, actually, Josh Crane.
Yeah,
it was. Can't
man,
give any away, but man, he hits hard.
yes, he's man. It's been a while since I've seen him in any kind of like wrestling going on, quite a while. But it's
different for what he's used to. But his first match from the season premiered last night, I think, because I watched it last night. He faced Tanner Keeler, which was a great match. Tanner's amazing. He's one of those dudes he's another small town guy from Indiana, but he's about to blow up because everyone's going to hear about Tanner soon.
Yeah, Tanner, and boy, that's good. That's good. Names like that need to be seen, and people need to know who they. I mean, it's great that you get to, you guys get to work. You get to mix it up with talent that's different, and just getting their foot in the door too. As well.
Yeah, I was first to be picked for the Paradigm because it's a tryout show. I mean, it's us trying to earn our spot on the roster. Like we got to out to do that. And when I was picked for it, first I was super excited for that. But then when they're like, "You're facing Josh Crane," I was like,
"No,
crap, really?
Yeah,
doing UWFI."
UFI? Do I need to grab some weapons? Do I need to be right? I got to go straight shoot wrestling? Am I gonna have a wrestling match, or are we gonna die here? Right?
It wasn't like I said. I've seen Josh Crane's matches, of course. I'm actually, I've been backstage helping out making weapons for some of his matches. And to see him do something as different as UWFI from a death match and as good as he is at it, it's crazy.
I know. He's one of those guys. I remember going to the King of the Death 2016 it was. When John became the Duke the King, and Crane was there as well. I remember him being there wrestling. Pretty cool to see it, and to see a Marcus Crane before before. No, man.
Before see him live and really sad about his passing.
I know.
Great wrestler.
I know, dude. Such a crazy talented wrestler he was. Put the smiles and the drinks on people's faces. He was the partier.
Right. Well, best guys always are, I guess.
Yeah, they do. But then, but now we see that the mellow side of, but you know what?
Yeah. Sometimes
John Moxley would be proud of him for
what
he's done for the community, for for the deathmatch scene.
Right.
To take on spots. But yeah, my God. Talk about like Moxley looked good, no scars on camera. Like that was like wow.
And like I've been seeing a meme go around already, and it's showing pictures of him from right before he left till now, and it's just like you can see like his face isn't nearly as bloated as it was with the alcohol and everything. And man went and got. I mean, he was already in great shape, but he got in even better shape, and we're about to see such good matches out of him in the next few months.
Yeah, we are. Yeah, and what he's going to do against Homicide, we'll see. That's going to be really
it's going to be a good match.
That's like the eyes on the world right there. Right there. It's like you're actually going to be like something that's going to be like the whole card is like magical. Like it's going to be historic.
Where was that? What promotion was that one going to be for again? Sorry,
that's Game Changer Wrestling, GCW.
Oh,
Hammerstein Ballroom.
Okay, I didn't realize he was announced for the Hammerstein show. Sorry. I knew he was announced for a match against Homicide, but I didn't realize it was a Hammerstein show. Okay. Yeah, that whole card's going to be ridiculous.
I know. I wish I was going. I'll be watching on IWTV, supporting everybody. So
I will actually be on the show Saturday night, so I won't get to watch it either.
Yeah. Watch the replay.
Yeah.
Well, watch the replay, or and at least watch the. I don't know, maybe catch it if you're driving or somebody else is driving. Tune into the Scramble is like a free on YouTube. So
Yeah, well, I'm sure it'll be on IWTV, right?
No, they got rid of that. Yeah, they got rid of their contract, but they still have stuff up.
I didn't. Yeah. So I'll have to find another way. I'll find a way to watch it.
I got it if you need it. I'll hit you. I'll hit you up after. I got
Saturday night. Saturday night, I'm actually on. I don't know if you've heard. Have you heard of New Wave Pro?
Yes, New Wave Pro is pretty good. I've been keeping my eyes on.
Saturday night's their 10th anniversary show, and it was just announced this morning that I will be in a triple threat match for their pre-show. I'm going to be facing a guy you had last week on the show, Lobo Okami, and another guy great coming up guy named Jack Kennedy.
Yeah, Kennedy. I saw that. I just popped up and I was reading flyers and see what's. Yeah, some good stuff coming. You have a lot of good.
That show itself is going to be stacked. And they've got Gord Crew versus JTG, Don't Die Miles versus Max the Impaler, Charlie Cruel versus Alice Crowley, and ZDP versus Solomon Tapu or Tupu. I can't remember how to pronounce his name, but
yeah.
That card's going to be stacked, and I'm happy to get to just do the pre-show. So it's awesome.
So what got you into wrestling growing up? What
got me watching?
Yeah.
Wrestling's kind of been like always. No, like I say that like they watch their whole life, but literally my earliest memories are sitting in front of the TV because my whole family watched wrestling. My grandma was a huge wrestling fan. She favorite wrestler of all time was Jerry Lawler. She used to my mom always tells me a story whenever she sees me watching. She'll text me and I'm watching wrestling. She'll be like, "Oh, your grandma used to come in Saturday morning. She'd sit down on my bed and make me clean my room, and the whole time she'd be watching USWA."
Oh wow, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's like my mom telling me a story how Dusty Rhodes actually came through Colorado and they went to a bar and he drank at a bar nearby. I was like, no shit. That's cool.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. But from there, like when I started watching, I was always watching it really, because somebody in my house always had it on. I had I had two older brothers and a cousin who raised like my older brother also, so three older brothers, and they were watching wrestling. My dad, my mom, pretty much my whole family watching. So I was brought up watching it, and from then it's just like, I guess at first when you're that young, you're not really paying attention. But as I start, getting a little older, late '90s during the Monday Night Wars, when I really started watching when I was a very little kid. But the characters started catching my eye. Like my favorite was at that age was Sting. I love Sting, and then when he switched from colorful to black and white, I liked him even better.
Yes, yeah, because that movie The Crow was out, and and that really just like the Scorpion, and is just all mixed up with them, Yeah,
funny story. When I was a little kid, I saw that movie, and I actually thought that was about Sting.
That's crazy. Oh man, you never know, right?
Right.
Maybe he was an extra. We didn't even know it.
Maybe so, man.
Sting's been in so many movies, I think too, that I probably don't even remember.
Most of us don't really want to. It's not very good.
No, sloppy movies probably. But anyway, go ahead.
No, you got it. You're fine.
But anyway, getting back to what was your first experience going to a show at a young age?
I'm from Louisville, Kentucky.
Yes.
So you may have heard of the Louisville Gardens here.
No, I never have.
Okay, so it's an old theater that's downtown, a big venue, and it's closed down. It's been closed down for close to 20 years at this point. But back in the day, that's where USWA used to come through. All the OVW who's in the area, they used to do shows there. So when I was a real little kid, my biological father used to take me and my older brothers to see them. And I was young, so I don't remember specific matches. But moments. I remember seeing Brian Christopher for the first when I was a little kid. I remember seeing him go through a table, but I don't know who he was facing. And then I remember meeting he was going by the King Mabel gimmick at the time, Viscera. I remember meeting him when I was like 3 or 4, and I was probably like 5, 4 or 5. But I remember standing next to him and coming up to maybe his knee and just being terrified.
Yeah, right.
Gigantic.
Yeah. Yeah, it's amazing when we, childhood wrestling, like how we go to shows as kids. It's like, man, my stories. I could tell you stories that I like telling stories about, like, I was lucky to see Bruiser Brody as a kid.
Oh, wow.
Like, he came to our local ice palace hockey rink. God, like, and Abdullah, but I didn't get to see Abdullah. It was a school night. I was a young kid. I was pissed, but I did see him, and Dr. D. David Schultz was there wrestling it. So that's like, yeah, vintage, like classic, and then the Fantastics, of course. My gosh, like I saw the Samoans when there was Samoans, Julius Smokes, like Julius, our Chief J Strongbow, the Strongbro brothers, DC Drake, and the original Patriot or Executioners, like you didn't even know that they were wrestlers. Wendy Richter, like
that would have been great. She would have been great to get to see live.
Yeah, I wish they would have. I found, I'm so mad they didn't ever put out. It was called, I think it was called NWF, National Wrestling Superstars. But they have stuff on YouTube. They have stuff on YouTube. I'm gonna have to go back and play it and share it. It's fun stuff to watch.
I enjoy it because, like, I like to, like, even before I started like training and stuff, I used to like to watch older wrestling because, I was in my college age when PG was big on TV, and it was before I started watching indie wrestling. So I stopped watching that stuff, and I went back and started watching older wrestling. That's how I got into like Japanese wrestling. And Wendy Richter was amazing. Like,
she was, yeah,
so good, and she used her spot when she got to WWE to bring in talent that she had worked with for so long. Like, but WWE did their normal stuff and messed them up. I got into watching this wrestler. She was in Japan. She was known as Monster Ripper, and her and Wendy Richter had some great matches. And it was just like, how WWE mess up a character like that?
No, that's like Luna Vachon. Come on. Like, that was a character that really took to the side that people never realized. She was like the reverse of Sherry Martel almost, Right.
Yeah, they don't understand. It's the look. It's because the way they look, they want to make it a joke.
But I'll never forget the time I actually went to a local show, and I got my picture with. I'll pull up the picture one day. I'll show you. Luna Vachon and Paul Bearer together. Isn't that cool? Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That is.
I've only got to meet a few guys that I've actually got pictures with. I got at a convention a couple years ago. I did meet Mick Foley and had to get a picture with him. And then
I'll tell you what, Mick Foley is such a great guy to see all the time. I've met him so many times.
Speaking
like, just the way that he talks and just the way he tells his stories to people. And I remember going to a convention one year in Pennsylvania. It was a Wrestle Reunion convention, and they had wrestling at night too. And he did some, and he got on the mic and did some stuff. But they had a Q&A session. So, and I was like, "All right, Dad, let me go check out this Q&A session. Let me see what this is like if I ask a question." So I go up, and it's Bill Apter of Pro Wrestling One, and so I go up to the mic. I'm thinking in my head what to ask Mick. Mick, what was it like falling off the Hell in a Cell versus The Undertaker? He was scared shitless, he said. But so I was like, yeah, that made his moment, big too at the time.
That was actually a big moment because I was watching that at home that night, and Mick Foley. I talked about Sting being one of my favorites, but
of course, Taker too as well. We can't go wrong with the Taker.
But no, Mick Foley. I loved Mick Foley from that moment on because he made me think wrestlers were superheroes because he fell 20 feet and just came back to the ring and finished the match.
and I'll never forget. He actually wrestled in my town. He came to my town, the next town over, at a high school gym wrestling Eddie Gilbert in a hardcore match up in the bleachers with his trash can. And I'm like, I'm sitting right there. There's Mick. tossing the guy down the stairs. You know.
Yeah, I remember he came to town once. It was back in the. It was before he had fully it was before TNA and before he retired. He was I think he might have been still been with WWE, but being that OVW's here in Louisville, they were at the local amusement park. We had a Six Flags at the time in Louisville, and they were doing an OVW show. Mick Foley came to the show and he was there, and I begged to go. I wanted to go so bad, but my mom was like, "Oh, but you can't get in without paying the amusement park prices and the price for the show." And she was like, I'm not spending all that. And I'm like, one chance I would have gotten to see him wrestle in my life. And,
yeah. It's like me, growing up watching WWF. It was like, Saturday night wrestling's on. Pay-per-view. We weren't spoiled to watch the pay-per-views. You know what I mean? Like had to get somebody had to sneak it or something. But my dad, or we found out. I found out somehow there was wrestling. The wrestling promotion or somebody was hosting a pay-per-view. And I got to watch it at the high school gym on a projector screen, WrestleMania 4 or WrestleMania with Bundy in the cage, Hogan and Bundy. I'm like, that's so cool just to see, like the movie theater style, like watching it, the original way pay-per-views probably would have been, back in the day.
Yeah, no, when I was a kid, when I was real young, when WCW was still around, we used to get their pay-per-views, but once WCW was out of business, the only time I ever got to watch them was like
Coliseum home video or the videos, VHS.
WrestleMania at least. There was a B-Dub, Buffalo Wild Wings here in town that used to show the WWE pay-per-views. So it was like a $5 cover, buy your food, and you just sit there the whole night and watch the pay-per-view.
Well, you know what?
I watched quite a few WrestleManias that way, actually. I know I watched under. Oh wow, you got the actual tickets.
WrestleMania 5, Atlantic City, New Jersey. My dad and I got to go. Yes, experience of a lifetime. I always tell the story. I love the story how it goes. Dad got tickets for Christmas. I was excited. We got nosebleed seats. We're sitting up in the bleachers, way up top, looking down at the ring. I got the Mega Power. We all getting all hyped up with the Mega Power stuff and souvenirs and signs. Yeah. And 5 rows next to me was Gorilla Monsoon and Jesse the Body on the commentary. Like 5 rows, right next to me. I'm like, damn, this is But to hear the sound of the ring from up there and with the microphone, because it was under the ring at the time. That's way back.
WWE still does that.
Huh? Yeah.
The WWE still does that.
But just to see that, and then the long aisle away, my gosh, that was crazy. It was just like the atmosphere was something else.
I didn't actually go to any WWE shows until I was already an adult. I saw SmackDown. I think it was like in 2018 or 2017. It was a decent show. It was a taping though, so when it's a TV taping, it's not exactly as fun as being at a live show. But the post show, the post show dark match was great though. It was The Miz versus Jeff Hardy, and The Miz was just being crazy as hell. He was out there dancing and making fun of Jeff Hardy and stuff. Dark match was so much better than the rest of the show.
Yeah, I remember going to a dark show, like a house show, and it was I think a SmackDown, and Eugene was doing stupid stuff, running around the ring doing his stupid stuff, mocking Ric Flair, and it was great. And then seeing Howard Finkel there, hey Howard, hello, he said, hey, I'm sitting probably like 6 rows away, Yeah. But no, to see, but that night actually was pretty cool. I believe it was a cage match. I got to see Jericho versus John Cena in a house show cage match. Yes.
Yeah.
There's little footage out there. I'll find it. I'll send it to you. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And I'll never forget the time I went to back at, Atlantic City again. I was there for, was it SmackDown? Another SmackDown. And I saw Bruiser Brody. I saw Brody Lee, and Moxley. Go. It was great to see, and Sheamus, and just like
the night I went to SmackDown, it was when Luke Harper or Brody Lee as still Luke Harper and Eric Redbeard were doing the Bludgeon Brothers gimmick. I got to see them do a tag team match that night, which was against the Bar, I think, actually, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. So that was a great show.
I'll tell you what, I got to see Brody at Ring of Honor at a couple of shows in New York and Jersey All Pro Wrestling. When he was wrestling, yes. When Hero was around, Chris Hero would come to the Jersey All Pro matches.
Damn, no, that must have been great. See, it sucks that when I was up until coming an adult and really training myself, I had very little knowledge of indie wrestling, and it felt terrible for it at this point because I missed so many good shows that I could have seen locally, even because I live in Louisville. It's right across the river where IWA Mid-South runs a lot of shows. And I could have been going to those my whole life and didn't even know they were going.
Right. Hey, I wonder if you would like to join us. My friend's a big-time podcaster as well as me. Maybe he wants to join us.
All right, yeah.
I like popping in people to bring in.
Yeah. I watched the interview you did with Lobo, and I saw that y'all did that too.
Yes.
Yeah. Like I said, I get to face him this week. Me and Lobo, actually, I've known him for a minute now. We've trained together actually quite a bit.
Okay. Yeah, my friend Everett's going to join us. Awesome. He's from Florida. He's
okay.
Yeah, he's from Florida and he's real knowledgeable. He'll pick he can pick your mind too.
Oh yeah.
So he's like my co-host sometimes. See, that's the way to do it sometimes. Have fun with guests, and just you don't have to be so, and it's your first podcast, so it's like and we're getting views. Let me get him in the link here.
Oh, awesome.
Let me maybe I'll put the get rid of the red banner. I'll set this up before he comes in, huh?
All
right. Let's put the red up. No, not that. Was that the? Yeah, that's the red. Get rid of that stupid barcode one. Absolutely. He likes to come in and he always enjoys the conversations with us. It's only Thursday night. Nothing's really happening. Yeah. All right. Let me see where he is. Hold on. Give him a minute. Hold on. Let me send him this. So, yeah. So yeah. Growing up watching wrestling was awesome. Just art. It really was. We see our heroes to, the superstars.
Right.
Yeah.
I really grew up in an odd time for TV pro wrestling because I started watching at the end of the Attitude Era, and then it came in, the ruthless, it's WWE, the Ruthless Aggression Era, and TNA coming in at the same time, which I was actually always an early TNA fan.
TNA really kicked off when it did, and I just love how it was the product. You could just watch it over and over.
Yeah.
Because the way that they, the 6-sided ring, that was cool. And then it was, and they brought that to a couple of companies too, different promotions. I've seen
there's one here. There's one here local or kind of locally. EWE. They run with the 6-sided ring.
Yeah, that must be interesting. Just to run those ropes.
I haven't gotten to work there yet, but I hear it is a lot different. The way you can bounce in it, it's different. The way the boards, something about the way the boards are. There's more.
Play.
It's really stiff near the ropes, but in the center, it's extra bouncy. Is what they've been told.
He's just setting up.
But yeah, as it was coming in, like I said, Ruthless Aggression and watching early TNA, and I was an early TNA fan because I remember back when they were doing the countries, the tournaments, they had Team Canada, Team America, and all that.
Oh yeah, that, and then the X division was really popular with AJ. It was just, and
so
then
good. And then
with Jeff Jarrett, come on, the angles with him. And now he's back in groove in the out of the blue.
ECW has been doing a lot of unexpected stuff. I didn't expect them to bring in Matt Cardona, and they did that, and it worked out great. And then they brought in Jeff Jarrett. Jeff Jarrett, and it'll probably be just as good.
because Effie, the guy Effie, really is funny. Like he tells a story. He can tell
Oh,
you
yeah.
like the story of wrestling. Yeah, but no, the way that I was a surprise. That was a surprise just to see how they did that. But it's going to be more interesting as it goes on. After this.
But yeah, what really started I hated about, like I said, growing up watching wrestling, when it got to like the early 2010s where it started hitting that PG era, man, I just really could not. I actually stopped watching like WWE for a good 3 years because of that, and then I heard the Hardys were coming back, so I was like, all right, I got to see this. But
yeah, the Hardys were. I'll tell you what, they're tearing up the scene, man. They had their run, and they if I'll tell you what, I'll go back to I'll send you the Jersey All Pro flyer on IWTV. Go back to the anniversary 19th anniversary show. They wrestled on it.
oh,
I mean, yeah, it's like cool. You'll be like, and Jay Lethal, of course, local, so you'll see a lot of some fun stuff.
they're supposed to be having their first match back together here in a few weeks, the Hardys. And I don't even remember. It's like a small promotion for what you would expect them to be doing, and
You're right.
really excited for that. Honestly, I love the Hardys.
Yeah, no, but yeah, I grew up. Yeah, it's like me. Like it's like Hardys were the innovators of high flying.
Jeff Hardy was another guy that, like, when I was really young, like, because I remember watching the original TLC matches on at home, on WrestleMania, of course, and probably on DVD more likely than actually watching them live, because, but it was just like ridiculous what he could put himself through. It was another Mick Foley situation in my mind. It was like he was another superhero.
Yeah, it's like that time they both did that Swanton. They dived off that balcony, off that famous spot they did there versus the Dudleys or whoever it was,
I don't remember which one it was, but it was probably Edge and Christian.
That's probably, yes, you're right, because that was when they were really the faction. Yeah, they were doing their thing. There's another There's another tag team that really, those guys went their separate ways, but hey, but look where Christian is now. Like Christian will never.
There's no question about either of them. Like, honestly, out of those teams, I'm surprised that the Dudleys didn't do more single stuff. But like the way they were so over as a tag team, there's no way they weren't going to be over once they try to go single.
Right. Yeah, they had a good run. But now Christian needs to get himself and just win a couple of those AEW titles and just
Yeah, I'm sure it'll happen. I mean, is he still the Impact champion?
I don't even know.
I know he won it off Kenny Omega, but I don't know if he still has it or not. I haven't watched him that much.
No, I got to catch up because I see a lot of Cardona stuff. That's like, I haven't seen a lot of that, but I'm like, no. But the original Moose is still there. I still see that he's like one of the faces. Actually, I was just reading something. Did you see about? I just read this today. Don West is in a hospital.
No, I didn't see that.
He's suffering something. That's scary.
Yeah,
hope he's all right.
Yeah, hopefully, man. Don't even.
Don West was like the great. He was great. He was the guy that would go. He would actually go to do the promo sales at the events, the house shows. I remember going like that at the TNA house show. He'd have the grab bag of 5 DVDs for $20, and a T-shirt when that was popular. They were so. TNA had a good thing there, right? When they did.
TNA had a good thing going for quite a while, but then they went the way of WCW and started making the same mistakes.
Yeah, then I had a friend of mine. He used to go to all the shows there for free. I was like, damn, you bastards! You get to go to all these shows. You live in Florida. Come on.
Right? Oh yeah, they got to go to the studio shows. That would have been awesome.
Yeah, but I couldn't believe that they were doing a free show. Like, you know what I mean? Like, how could they get away? Well, I guess the money and I guess wrestling at that time frame,
Yeah, I mean, because there wasn't much back then.
No, there wasn't. I mean, if it was free way back in the day, man, we would have been there. We would have been watching AJ in his prime a bit,
Oh yeah, I would have loved to have gotten to see AJ live in his prime. Oh man,
Mm-hmm.
some of those moves he could do, that spinal tap he used to pull off,
Mm-hmm.
ridiculous. I don't remember who it was
Yeah.
against, but
Yeah.
I remember watching some clips from TNA, and he did this thing over the ropes. If I can ever get as athletic as he is, I will do it, but I can't right now. He literally like runs horizontal to the ropes and jumps and does a shooting star from the mat over the ropes onto somebody, and it just blew my mind the way he could do that. That body control was just crazy. He has.
Yeah, the way that he put himself. I'll tell you what. I got to see him wrestle Jimmy Rave.
Wow.
That's when he stole. That was a Ring of Honor match that he stole. It. You know, when Jimmy Rave stole the Styles Clash from him.
Oh, okay, yeah. You got to see that.
Like Ring of Honor. That's before Dishonor 3 or 2. Yeah. That's when Punk was just signing for the WWE too at the time versus Austin Aries. He had his match with Austin Aries.
Yeah, I've seen both of those matches, but recordings of them.
Yeah. To see that, it's like to be there to live, to be to witness moments like like a Rave moment or a Punk moment. Come on, like
I mean the house must have gone. I mean the building must have gone wild when he did the Styles Clash. It had to have.
And I want to introduce my co-host for the night, the one and only Everett Lee of the Everett Lee Show. This is Mitch, and
What's up, man?
Hey, David, you're lucky I wasn't doing nothing.
I know.
You're lucky I was in the middle of doing something,
Yeah.
Well, the wife's not home, so.
Okay. But damn.
Yeah.
So have Everett's been listening to us, and we're catching up right now. We're just talking about like Jimmy Rave and AJ TNA era Everett.
Yeah, the old TNA era, the Asylum years. I have Pluto TV, and they have an Impact channel. And on the Impact channel on Pluto TV, they run sometimes old Asylum episodes. One day they were doing a whole marathon of them. Like last night, I was watching on the Independent Pro, not the Independent, but mostly it's Independent. It's the Pro Wrestling channel on Pluto. I was watching Defy Wrestling last night. I was sitting there watching that. I was watching who the heck, because I was so tired when I turn on wrestling, I'm half asleep because I'm at the end of the day. It's like the adrenaline. I guess like I want to watch wrestling. And then I lay down on the couch and I put it on and I'm so tired because my day job, I just crash. But I remember watching Defy Wrestling last night. I was watching who the hell was I watching? I was so tired. It was one of the good episodes. I remember waking up at 3 o'clock in the morning and hearing super crazy chant. I was like, oh, I remember that episode. And then I fell back asleep.
Everett, I was going to text you today and tell you that I saw that match with Jimmy Havoc and the other guy that you like.
Which other guy?
From Defy.
Pushing Randy Myers.
Yeah, get out of here, Bella. Come on.
Yes.
Yeah. Mitch, are you familiar with Defy Wrestling out of Seattle?
I've heard of it, yes, but I've not seen a whole lot of it. No.
Their production is great for an independent wrestling show. Production wise, they shoot everything almost in 4K, and their setup. They have 2 roaming cams. They have 1 camera up in the balcony, I think, and 2 in the balcony, and they have 4, sometimes 5. They go back and forth and stuff. And they pack this little 2-story like arena thing with a stage. Where'd David go? Jumped out.
Yeah.
But he'll be back. But he pretty much they do pretty good. They draw pretty good. They get some New Japan talent on there. They get people that's in AEW. I know I've seen I think like the like MJF's been there, the Young Bucks. Christopher Daniels, SoCal Uncensored was there back before they broke up and stuff. But they have a lot of talent that comes through there. You see on like AEW or any other promotion that come through there.
I mean, I probably know some of the guys there because I mean, Ohio's not far from where I'm at. I'm based out of Louisville, Kentucky, so I mean, I know a lot of Ohio guys because they come down to do shows in this area.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're probably familiar with Harley Fairfax.
Oh yeah, I've met Harley a couple times. She's awesome. She's really good.
Mm-hmm. I've had her on my podcast a couple times. She's great. She's great. Last year, she was really great because not last year, 2020, I got furloughed from my day job for like 73 days. And during that time, I did a lot of podcasting. I talked with a lot of future great wrestling, FGW talent. And I had her back on there. And even when I wasn't interviewing any of the FG talent in between doing those podcasts, we'd message back and forth and talk and stuff, checking in. Is like, how you feeling? How you doing? I text her back, like, how you handling things? Because Ohio, they had it rough in 2020. It was just bad with how everything happened. Where their wrestling has to go through an athletic commission. I don't know how that is in Kentucky. I know you have to have a license in Kentucky.
I actually don't have a Kentucky license. I haven't wrestled in Kentucky yet. All my stuff's been. I've done most of my work in Indiana at this point.
Okay.
Because Louisville's like right across the bridge. There's the Ohio River right across from Jeffersonville, Indiana. So I've done a lot of wrestling over in Indiana. Okay.
Because I'm not too familiar with you. I jumped on and seen that you guys were talking about WWE. I caught most of the conversation when you and David were discussing about going to Raws and SmackDown. I've been to about 3 Raws, and I've never been to a SmackDown. That's the only one I never did get to see was a SmackDown. Yeah. But I went to Battleground 2014. I went to that, and I seen is it Brody Lee back when he was in Harper and Rowan. Seen him wrestle the Usos for the tag team titles 2 out of 3 falls, which was great. Oh, yeah. And in 2015, I was at SummerSlam up in New York. First time going to New York. Wow. Me and my wife went to SummerSlam, and then were able to go to Monday Night Raw back at the Barclays Center the night after. That's where I saw Braun Strowman debut with the Wyatt family, and then Sting makes his surprise, with the statue at Rollins after he beat Cena and took the U.S. title. That was great. There he is. Where'd you go to, man? You popped out. Technical difficulties?
Yeah. Taking a piss again. All right.
Taking a piss. You just okay. Thanks for sharing. I'm gonna go off at the pool. I'll see you later.
Oh, also, Mitch. Earlier, me and we were talking about Billy Starks, Everett. How he has trained with her.
You trained Billy Starks?
Yes.
We trained at the same school, and I've trained a few times with her over the past few years. Yeah. She's all over the place. Mm-hmm. It's hard for me to keep up with her. She's at this promotion, and she's over here, and she's here. She's just going everywhere, getting bookings, man. I'm surprised no one's like picked up on her. I'm surprised that she's not had an opportunity to be on Dark Elevation or Dark yet. I'm surprised. It's because she's not 18.
What?
It's because she's not 18 yet.
Yeah.
She's not?
She's only 17. So next at the end, I think her birthday's next December. She'll be 18.
Yeah.
Wow. I didn't know that.
She started
because I interviewed her about a couple of years ago, back in actually 2018, I think it was. I interviewed her, and that podcast is one of the highest ranks on iTunes. But I put out there just recently a post with my 2 top most listened to podcast on Podbeam, which is Shauna Reed and Cody Hawk.
Sorry, somebody was waving to me from the other room.
But Billy Starks, man, she's great. She is great.
Oh yeah, she started training when she was like 13. So she was training like when I met her like 2 years ago. She'd already been training for two and a half years already, 3 maybe. She'd already been going for a minute, and like since 2020, she's just blown up and been everywhere.
Mhm.
Such talent. Friday night, I was at the Paradigm show. I wasn't on card, but I was at the show hanging out. I don't know if you've heard of Paradigm Pro or not.
Yeah, I've heard him. I've seen him on IWTV when I going through the promotions.
Yeah, she faced Calvin Tankman on
Okay.
Friday. Show,
Calvin Tankman. Ooh, there's a guy.
it was for one of their titles, and like I will say, it was one of the best stories. Like the match, they told such a good story in that match. It was just her being, her wanting to be taken seriously as a wrestler, and him not wanting to hurt someone that he has, seen grow up as like a family member. So he was, when he finally did, and he finally struck her, like hit her, the crowd just loved it. Like they went crazy for it.
That's
Crazy for it, but
Right.
they were on Billy's side, but crazy for the fact that he finally did it.
yeah. That's the kind of wrestling I like, when you can tell a good story and you get the crowd with you through that whole match. Cheering for the face, booing the heel, and just telling a really good story, and just the build up. Just I love that. I definitely love a good story. And talking about matches, do you go back and watch your matches? Do you critique your own matches? Or are you your worst critic?
No, I'm my worst critic. I have to go back and watch it because during a match, I'm gonna think about it. Like right after the match, I'm like, oh, I know I messed this up. It probably looks so bad. I've got to watch it. So as soon as I can, watch it. If I don't have somebody out in the crowd recording the match for me, as soon as the promoter posts it, I'm watching that match.
Yeah.
Everything, criticize every little bit. Oh man, I could have done this at this point, or man, that I could have picked him. Dude, every little thing I gotta nitpick because I want it to be better. But
yeah. Do you go back and watch other matches? Do you ever go back and watch a match with no sound just to see if you tell the story? You ever done that before? Because
I've never done that with one of my matches. No. I've done that with other matches before, the other people's matches, just to watch it. My trainer actually had me do something like that a couple of times to get help with storytelling.
Yeah, I think that's the best. I think that's the best way right there to do that.
Mitch, let me ask you this: Have you attended any seminars?
Oh yeah, I've been to quite a few seminars over the past couple of years actually. Because like I said, since being in this area, Grindhouse is the school I trained at. It's over in Jeffersonville, Indiana, and Billy Starks' family, the Big Starks brand. That's sure if y'all have heard of. They've used our building for a lot, and they had seminars coming through there last year during right after the pandemic, right after everything opened back up like crazy. So I got to do Larry D seminar. What other one? I've done Aaron Williams. Been at Aaron Williams seminars.
Aaron Williams. There's a guy. He is pretty good for what he's as a wrestler.
Oh, Aaron Williams is great. I think probably my favorite seminar was Jake something and what's the other dude? Raham Ajit, something like that. They're both Impact guys. But
Jake Christ?
Not
Christ?
Jake Christ.
No. Oh.
Something. Mm-hmm. His name's actually Jake something.
Yeah.
Jake something. Yeah.
Okay.
You heard of Jake something?
Jake something. That's the name. Sounds familiar.
Yeah, he's been on Impact and Black Label Pro everywhere. Big guy, can move. Such great work.
Yes, you want to check out Jake something's early stuff? Watch War Wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You
go.
Also, we were talking about Billy. Him and Billy had a match at Black Label last year that just tore the house down.
Really? Is it up on WTV? Because I've seen Black Label Pro on there.
If it's on there, then the show probably is. It's from I think it's from summer of 2020, something around there. But yeah, they had a killer match. there's a funny spot. Like there's this one spot where Jake gives her like a forearm, and Billy just takes it and like throws herself back and falls on her butt and slides across the mat.
Oh, no way. She can sell. She can sell. I like. What's your thought on this? What's your thought on no selling? Because I hate the fact that when someone comes in and does a move and they no sell it, because it just kills me. Does that ever bug you?
Yes and no. It all depends on who the person is and if it works for their character, or if it's like a giant guy and they're facing somebody that's like, Rey Mysterio versus Big Show size. I understand a no sell when Rey Mysterio punches Big Show, but yeah, the no selling can get a little complicated, especially if from the wrestling side of it. If you don't, from a wrestler's perspective,
right?
Out there, if you don't sell their moves, the next one's not going to be a fake, or not a fake, but a working punch. The next one's going to be real.
Right. Right. There's your receipt. Yeah. I seen a match where someone goes through a table and they jump right up. I'm like, come on, man. You went through a freaking table. Mick Foley. I mean,
the Hardy Boys, the Dudleys, right? Yeah.
They didn't just pop up and do a 3D all of a sudden. It's like you forget about them going through the table and you think about the finish,
It's just that it all adds up to people wanting to do their character a certain way, I guess. And I understand it, because character's the biggest thing in this business. You can say whatever you want about the moves, the tech, the physical. It's character work.
Yes.
Right there, like a side note, like if my trainer every day in training, I was trained by the Reverend Ronnie Roberts, and every day it was character. That was the main thing for him. And
actually,
yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say, what you said earlier with me playing that video, that was the video of you with the tables match.
Oh, me versus the Amazing Pookie. Yep. Yeah, that was from last month. That was a fun little match. It was actually the only reason that turned into a tables match is because they didn't use the tables in the match earlier in the night, and they're like, "Hey, you guys want to turn this into a tables match?"
Right.
I was like, "Sure, I'll go through a table."
That is great. I was watching last night. I was sitting there watching. Okay, thank you, David. I'll check that out right there. Definitely check that out. I was watching last night. I was watching AEW Dark. I tape it and I forget to watch it because I was sitting there watching FGW. They had their cold-blooded event. So I was watching that last night, and that was a hell of a show. That was one hell of a show.
And me and him were talking about last night. We didn't watch the full show, but we were talking about the promo that Jon Moxley's return.
Yeah.
Did you see that promo, Everett?
Yeah, I missed it. So 5:30 this morning when I was on the John, I was watching it because I was like, I got to see if Moxley's promo's out there. So yeah, I was watching that, and hell yeah.
What'd you think about that promo? That was a good one. Like it
was great. It was great. I mean, yeah. I mean, come on. The guy had a problem. He needed help. He went and got help, and you can't help yourself not unless you need help. And that's what he did. He went and got help. He got better. He's back to doing what he does. And that is pretty, wrestling. That's what he is.
Yeah,
and
that's what I was telling. That's what I was telling Mitch, that he's ready to take on Homicide in a couple of weeks in New York City, the Hammerstein Ballroom.
Yeah,
that's definitely going to be great. I'm looking forward to seeing that. Definitely am. I'm this Friday. I'm actually really excited about what's going on IWTV. I'm trying to pull it up here again. I sent it to you, David. Remember? Let me.
Oh, yeah. Oh, is it?
What was it I sent you?
I don't know.
I'm trying to find it. Oh, there it is, right there. All right. I'm pulling
You
this
can
up.
read it. Go ahead, read it.
Do you have IWTV, Mitch?
Yes, of course, dude. I'm actually. I was telling Dave a bit ago. My first ever show match that's going to be on there is going to be here in a couple weeks for Paradigm on their part of their UWFI Contender Series.
Okay. I'm gonna have to check that out. It's southeast first south. I can't talk. Southeast first Super Show stream. It's on Friday at 7:30. It's action wrestling. They're gonna have action wrestling, and it looks like New South. New South, Southern Honor Wrestling. The card is great. You got the main event is AC Mack going up against Alex Shelley for the IWTV World Title.
Alex Shelley.
AC Mack.
AC Mack. That's ACH, right?
I think. I don't know.
Let me make sure on that. I don't want to get that wrong. Call somebody about the wrong name.
Yeah.
Oh wait, ACH is that? Oh, there's another guy. Yeah, I think I know.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's the main event right there. They have the PPX Championship. John Davis versus Drew Alder. The Southern Honor Wrestling Championship match. Owen Knight versus Kyle Matthews. TWE Championship. Merck versus Damian Tangura. I suck with names. New South.
Whoever he is.
Yeah. All good.
Yeah.
New South has some names that.
Yeah.
It's
New
amazing.
South somewhere I hope to work at someday soon.
Mm-hmm.
They're doing the New South Championship. Rolando Perez versus Brandon Williams versus David's favorite Donnie Janela versus Chris Funk.
Donnie Janela, yeah, he's around though.
Yeah,
he's around. That's Donnie's like one of Levi's favorite wrestlers, almost, right? The Amish dude.
Oh, the Amish guy, Levi Everett.
Yeah.
I like Levi. He's a really cool guy. Actually, I've talked to him quite a few times.
Mm-hmm.
Puts on some impressive matches.
He doesn't speak at all, Everett. he does Amish.
Oh no, he does talk. He's a very soft-spoken person. It's great though. I've been at shows where I'm like helping out like a ring crew and stuff, and he'll be out there selling his merch at tables, and this man will have handmade Amish birdhouses at his tables.
I'm surprised he does. I'm surprised he's not selling the little butter turner. You know.
Hey, that would be a great idea. I'll pitch that to him next time. He needs to get some mini ones made and start selling them.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah,
it is.
He does it. He just wanted to. I just saw. It was Sunday night. Sunday night
he just won a title, didn't he?
Saturday night, yeah, Conquest. Actually, I think he won their belt, and then Sunday night, I was in the Rumble on a show that he was on. All right. There's a guy here in the area named Chad French. He helps out.
Yes, shout out to Chad French. Good dude.
Yeah. We were doing his stroke benefit. He had a stroke, and we were doing a benefit show for him called Stroke Sucks Eggs, which will be on IWTV at some point, I believe. Everett actually defended the Conquest title at that show that night too. It got made in the last minute. I can't remember who he faced, but yeah, Everett puts on a show, man. He hits. If you're gonna go and look and try to find some of his matches, I think it was at Black Label Pro, but don't quote me on that one. But he faced Big Beef. I don't know if you know Big Beef or not, Everett, but it was from last year, and these men were headbutting each other worse than I've ever seen. Give me just a second.
Yeah, Everett. So that's awesome. That's pretty cool. Like who he knows. And
Yeah, it's cool. It is cool.
I meant to mute that when I got away.
I'm sure here in a little bit you're gonna hear my dog start barking. Yeah,
my
because my
animals.
wife would be coming in. Yeah, my daughter's asleep.
Yeah, well, I'm in the
Yeah.
same room as the. We have a couple cats. Same room as the litter box at the moment, and he needs to get to it.
Yeah. Oh wow, that's cool. I put a tweet out yesterday, and it popped up on here. Nice. I'll have to share that right there.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like like last year. Well, you're talking about promotions. I was able last year from January to September. I did production and editing and graphic design for CFWE out of Lakeland, Florida. That's run by Thumper Chapman.
CFWE. What's that? What's it stand for? CFWE.
Championship Family Wrestling Entertainment.
Oh, okay. I've never heard of that one. I'm not as well versed in some of the more southern promotions, really, because I'm in the Midwest for the most part right now. But
yeah, I can. If you ever, do you have Fight TV?
No, I don't have Fight. I have IW, but not Fight.
Okay. On Fight TV, ARW, Atomic Revolutionary Wrestling. That's a good promotion. It's run out of Cocoa, Florida. It's run by Alex Red. He has a lot of people come through. A really good friend of mine that I worked with on CFWE, former Ring of Honor talent, Thump Dupree.
Oh, wow.
He does. You've heard of Thump Dupree?
I've watched a lot of back catalog, like old Ring of Honor stuff.
Yeah, Thump Dupree. I last year I developed a really good friendship with him. Great guy, great booker. He booked a lot of the stuff for CFWE. He's working with Knockout Wrestling, and he does commentary for ARW. And ARW comes on, I think, every Thursday night at 8:00 on Fight. And they.
Oh, Mitch, I was going to tell you something cool. Everett and I have a friend, and he's a producer of the old music of WWF.
Oh, really?
Go ahead.
You put me
I always
on
like to. Go ahead, Everett. Yes.
Go ahead, Everett. Go ahead.
Yes.
Yeah. You tell him.
Go for it, Everett. Shout it out. Talk about it.
Tell him.
Yeah.
JJ McGuire. Hurricane JJ McGuire. He collaborated with Jimmy Hart on all the Federation theme songs, from Hulk Hogan to Jimmy Superfly Snuka to $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase to Big Boss Man, Shawn Michaels, Sexy Boy, Demolition, and him and Jimmy did all those theme
for
songs.
the Real American song.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, that's a lot of history of music in the rest.
We actually were did a lot of podcasts with him, right, Everett, and just over the years, and then he actually came down and he got an award by me because I wasn't there in person. JJ was there, right, Everett? Go ahead. Yeah.
JJ came down and he hung out with me. He stayed with me for a week, and we stayed up late and just talk, which was great. And during our conversations, I asked him, I said, JJ, do you know how much of your music's on YouTube? And he said, I never really looked. I said, let's sit down here and take a look. And we're going through looking, because he was making sure that a lot of all the music that's been put out there, him and Jimmy got credit. People credit him and Jimmy, because there's a thing about Jim Johnson, which I'm not going to get into, but it just he off the record, he would tell you how he feels, but nothing bad. It's just he was checking out, just make sure that no one credited Jim Johnson. And I had to pinch myself. I'm sitting there pulling up Shawn Michaels' Sexy Boy, listening to it, and then the guy right next to me is the guy that wrote it and played it. It's like
It's a real feeling.
I'm listening to sexy boy. I'm not your.
And, and
it's like
the funny thing is that Jimmy Hart actually a friend of Jimmy Hart's as well. Like, because Daytona, there was a bar, right? Everett.
yeah,
Yes.
Jimmy had a place here in Daytona. Jimmy Hart Hall of Fame Bar and Grill. It was over at what used to be known as the Mine Hotel. They had a place down there in the bottom where you go in there and Jimmy Hart would be there. You go in, watch wrestling, watch sporting events, have a drink, chill out. He had all the memorabilia there. And it just, when I got to know Jimmy pretty good, I mean, really great guy, talking with him. And we'd be sitting there.
Tell me about the bar fight.
There was no bar fight. Almost.
No,
it would escalate. It would escalate. Okay. So one night I was there with my friend Tommy, who just retired from the business last year. He used to be known as the Renegade. He down here in Florida. He was known as the Renegade. And we went out there to see Jimmy and we're hanging out with him. And right there on the beach, it's like these two guys just rolled up on the beach, Mitch. And they came in and they smelt like 420 bad. It was like, I looked over at Tommy. I said, "Is it 420?" And he's like, "I don't know." I was like, "It smelled like it." I was like, "Yeah, it does." So they got some drinks and they just started getting loud and rowdy. And we're sitting there talking to Jimmy, watching TV, and they kept coming up and just getting on and on and on and on and just saying, "You're the best, Jimmy. We'll buy you a drink." And Jimmy's like, "No, that's all right, baby. Oh, we'll buy you a drink. We'll buy it." Just getting loud and obnoxious. So Jimmy got up and security came in and told him, asked him to leave. And they didn't want to leave. And the security was like, "There's two ways it's going to happen." And the security guy's like, "I'm going to make you leave or the cops going to make you leave."
Yeah.
So they ended up leaving. And Tommy's big. He's 6'3". I jumped behind him because I'm like, I don't want nothing to happen, man. And then there was this other time where we were sitting there, me and Jimmy, and we're talking to Jimmy, and Tommy was sitting there, and we have a friend, our friend Tony. And Donnie David looked like Jake Roberts' brother, Tony.
Oh my goodness.
He does. Yeah,
yes.
he does. He could pass as Jake Roberts, like a young Jake Roberts. And we were all sitting there, and this husband and wife came in, and the wife, she was 3 sheets in the wind, and she comes walking up, and she's all, "Jimmy!" And she bought a shirt, Jimmy signed it, she took some pictures and stuff, and she'd walk over back to her husband, have a few more drinks, and we're sitting there talking. And then Jimmy got up and takes off for a minute to go check on something. We're sitting there, she comes back over and she's like, "Where'd Jimmy?" I was like, "Jimmy left."
Yeah.
She looked over at Tommy and said, "Who are you?" I said, I'm Jimmy's bodyguard." I was sitting there, I'm like, and then she looked over at me, and then she looked back at him and said, "Well, who's he?" And Tommy looks over at me, and I look at him, and he says to her, he said, "That's my bodyguard." And she's like, she was out of it.
You could have said, "Yeah, that's Jake the Snake Roberts,"
Yeah, we went to a wrestling show. We went to a Go Wrestle show one time, and you ever hecklers? I know you've dealt with hecklers before, seen them at shows.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
We went to a Go Wrestle show, and me and Tommy and Tony were there, and we were heckling at one of the local shows that was about like 10 minutes from us. And we were up in the front there heckling, and the guys in the ring during the tag match, they looked over and they're like, "Is that Jake Roberts?" He's like, "Hey, Jake Roberts there in the crowd." It's like, "It's Jake Roberts." And we're like, "No, that's Jake's brother." What the hell? Not Jake. Jack. That's Jack Roberts.
Yeah.
And we're like, "You better watch out. He's gonna give you DDT." Yeah, we had so much fun there. We did.
What kind of music are you into, Mitch? What do you like?
I listen to a lot of music, really. Probably my favorite's more classic rock, 70s, late 60s rock. It all depends on the mood, really, because I like 90s hip hop a lot too. I've actually, just in the short time I've wrestled, I've already changed my entrance song like 3 times.
90s hip hop, Dr. Dre, The Chronic. I grew up in the 90s. That's like the album there. Dr. Dre, Tupac, Biggie was all like in the early 90s there.
Vanilla Slice.
One of my favorite from back then is Ice Cube. I'm a huge fan of his.
Ice Cube, yeah. Ice Cube was great. I mean, he's great. He's made that great transition from rapper to movies and stuff. I mean, I remember like yesterday, it was like when Friday first came out, man.
Hey, I grew up on that and Boys in the Hood. That was like a staple around my house, movie wise.
Yeah, Boys in the Hood. I remember Boys in the Hood. Did you ever see Menace to Society?
Yes.
Oh man, that right there. What gets me is like the part where he's in the garage and the dogs get him, and then when he's sitting there with the cop and he's trying to talk and the cop is just sitting there not buying anything,
Yeah.
That was great. I mean, the ending.
I'm gonna run to the fridge. I'll be right back.
Man, David, I know when you go back and listen to this, man, you're like a marathon runner. You take more trips away from the podcast than a travel agent. You see, this is the part where we can talk shit now about David when he's gone. This is the part where we can talk. Nah, David's great. But like you're talking about 60s, 70s music. What else you like? You like Zeppelin?
60s and my original or my okay. So right now I have actually 2 entrance songs because I have one that I like to use the most, and then there's one that I have to use for family friendly shows because it has to be no cussing. You know. The indies, we have to use whatever song we want. We don't have to have licensing for it, so it's cool.
What are the 2 songs?
All right. Well, my family friendly one is "I Want to Be Your Dogs" by the Iggy Pop and the Stooges. It's
yeah.
All right, you know that one. All right, so I had to explain what it is. Love that song. It goes well. It's good. I like a song that has a good rise to it, and that opening solo it has is really good. And then the song I've started using at shows that are less family friendly where I can cuss. It's a cover of 99 Problems, but it's a blues cover of it. So it sounds completely different. Like a guy named Hugo, I think's his name. Really good song.
Yeah. I like Eric Clapton, Cream. I discovered just not too long ago that I like looking up cover songs just to see how people do them and stuff, and I find out a lot like the old classic rock songs. Usually
songs.
People cover them and they do great, or they butcher them.
Well, it's not even that. I thought you were going to get towards the fact that a lot of what Cream did was just covers of old blues music.
Pretty much. I mean, if you look at the Rolling Stones, they were influenced by Muddy Waters.
Yeah, Zeppelin did it too. But Crossroads, it was originally done by Robert Johnson in the 1920s.
Yeah. It's I was like looking up Cream, and I came upon a cover from Apocalyptica did of Cream's White Room with, I forget the singer's name, but it sounds great. It sounds really great. I think it's like one of like my favorite covers there. I found also on YouTube, Allison Chains, they did a live benefit show in Seattle a few years ago. That's with their new lead singer. And they closed out the show because they had a whole orchestra with them. They closed out the show with Kashmir.
Really?
Yeah. That was great. That was great. It was great. that with the orchestra and playing Kashmir, but they did a few Jars of Flies songs because they had the orchestra, which worked out great.
Oh, that must have sounded pretty impressive. Actually, I was actually at a concert, the only concert I've been to since the pandemic. It was a bluegrass band, a band called Old Crow Medicine Show, and they did a cover of the Beastie Boys, "Fight for Your Right to Party" at the end of the show. And I was just like, I'm at a bluegrass show. What?
That's like, you ever heard that bluegrass cover band, a bluegrass band that does a lot of cover songs called Hasty Dixie?
No, what songs have they covered?
Oh, they do a lot of songs. They do AC/DC songs, and they did. I laugh at the one they did with Soundgarden, Rusty Cage, with the banjos. Yeah, they've done Slayer. Yeah. Who knew that you could play Slayer on a banjo? But only these guys can. They're the only guys that can pull it off.
I don't know. I remember back in the day when that bluegrass or the country version of Gin and Juice came out, and I was like, "Do you ever think to play a version of Gin and Juice like this?"
That's the same guys. That's the same guys.
Okay,
yeah.
So I've heard them.
Yeah, you've heard them. Yeah. Speaking on gin juice, sipping on gin and juice.
Yeah, it always makes me laugh. It just sounds so weird.
Yeah, it's creative. Yeah, welcome back, David. We were just talking smack about you. Thank God.
All right, that's great. Thanks for the ribbon. Ribbon and quibbing. Thank you for the ribbon.
Yeah, you're going to have to go back and listen to what we were saying about you.
All right. Thank you very much, Everett, as always, for the ribbon.
I do want to ask this.
What about movies?
Well, okay, movies. Obviously, all right.
No,
okay,
what
David. This is your show.
Go ahead. What kind of movies do you like? Horror, sci-fi, porn?
It's another bit like my music taste. Some different mixed on music on movies too. I have a certain number of movies that are, of course, my favorites. Like The Godfather is probably my favorite movie of all time. And then I also go for some comedies. Like, have you ever seen Project X?
Yes, I went to the theaters to see that, man. I'm still trying to convince my wife to get us a garden gnome just like that. And she's like, no. She asked me this past Christmas, what do you want for Christmas? I said, I want a gnome. I want the gnome from Project X. No, quit asking. Every year I tell her, I want the gnome. I want it out there. I said, do you think people get offended if we had it out in front yard? She looked at me.
Don't spoil it for me, okay?
Okay, I was going to make
Netflix, right, David? It's on Netflix.
Yeah, it's on Netflix right now, I believe. And I think on HBO Max too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You can catch it.
They were filming a Project X2, and John Cena was attached to it, and that was like last I heard about it.
All right, yeah.
Hey, say what you will about him. His acting career is actually going pretty well. Have you watched that new Peacemaker show?
No, people said it's great.
Ridiculously good. They put 3 episodes out so far. He fits the roast so well.
Do you watch any like kung fu movies or any?
Oh, dude, I used to be a huge fan as a kid watching the kung fu movies, like especially Jackie Chan. I grew up.
Did you see Cobra Kai?
Oh yeah, I love
series
shows. So good.
Yeah, Cobra Kai was great, man, dude.
Great. Can we play the wrestling game? Yes.
What wrestling game?
I always ask
we put you through a table and see how long it takes you to get up before it counts in.
No, you are such. That's it, Everett. You know what? I could just do this. Oh, back to our conversation. No.
I was putting time out. Damn it, David.
What's the wrestling game you're talking about?
Well, how about this, David? If I pull it up right here. How about this?
Damn.
David, you have about a 33 and a third chance.
You're the son of a bitch, you know. That's it.
Oh, really?
Player, it's on every day, all day.
Actually, I just thought up a good question to ask you guys. You said wrestling and movies. So, what's y'all's favorite movie that's about wrestling or based around wrestling?
Ooh.
So, one I'm say is probably going to get some frowns because I just love the movie so much.
All right, David. Because I already got it. I know which one I'm going to say. Come on.
Mine's the wrestler.
All right.
Damn. Is that you too?
Yeah, the wrestler, Mickey Rourke. Yeah,
Go ahead.
I like it.
Ready to Rumble.
Ready to Rumble. That's a good one.
You know what? Yes.
People knock it because of the way a lot of people knock that movie. Mainly they just don't like David Arquette, but
yeah.
That was a great movie because the way that he came out, his role in just I love that movie. And how you get then after you see him face Nick Gage, you know.
Hey, the documentary he put out about him trying to be a wrestler again was also quite good.
Mm-hmm.
You Can't Kill David Arquette. That was a pretty good one too.
Yes, I actually enjoyed that. Did you see that, Everett?
No, I didn't see the documentary.
It's good. Definitely worth the watch.
Well, the wrestler, yes, I love that movie because actually I was a part of that.
Oh, yeah?
In the audience at the Broadway Rec Center when they were doing the match, the Rod Killings match, and he's up in the stands, you know, when he's looking down at the ring.
Oh,
cool.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So wait, did they do that like an actual match, or did they just
it was. Yes, they told us they were filming. They were telling us they were filming. Like the owner said they're going to be filming tonight. Fat Frank said we're going to be filming a movie tonight. And Mickey was right. I was outside having a cigarette, and I could have said hello. I should have. You know?
I'd always wondered how they shot those scenes in that movie. Like, did they just find a bunch of extras, put them in the stands, and pay for a ring, or did they do it during an actual show? It
was actually a full show. It was actually a full wrestling card that night. I can go back and look and find it for you. I'll find it one day.
Well, from what I understand is, did you see Fighting With My Family?
Mm-hmm.
From what I understand is they filmed that in between of a real Monday Night Raw.
Oh yeah, the ending scene.
Yeah, the ending scene, which was totally BS because I remember watching it on TV. That I said, me and my wife were watching it, and she looked at me. She's like, "That didn't happen." I said, "No, it didn't." We knew how that ending went. Real wrestling. I was like, "Why did they change it?"
They changed that. The other thing I didn't like it was cool they had Selena Vega play AJ Lee, but why did they have her dressed in her own gear instead of dressed like AJ Lee?
Well, they own. That's a good question. I was wondering the same thing because even my wife said the same thing. Why is she not dressed like AJ Lee? They own the name AJ Lee. They own it. Yeah, they own the likeness. They own the likeness.
Back to my before Everett was using those little sound effects. The wrestling game. Okay. Okay. Cobra Kai. If the wrestlers, if let's reverse the roles. If wrestlers, any kind of wrestler from the past, present, who would it be as the roles of the?
So you're saying, so you're saying like if we did the wrestler, but with him in the past
or present, right, Everett? We've done it.
What?
The Cobra Kai. We've picked wrestlers who could play the role of a wrestler as like the sensei. Everett, like who would be Ralph Macchio in the movie?
Oh, you're saying who would be like a good fit to play those characters in the movie?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. Replace the actors with wrestlers. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. Go ahead, Mitch. Take a stab at it. Ralph Macchio, Daniel LaRusso. Who would play Daniel LaRusso?
If we're talking about like the original Karate Kid movies, like
we could go. Yeah, we could go back all the way to that too.
Well, I mean, for that spot, we would need someone at least young looking. So I would probably say like Jungle Boy, maybe. He'd be a good one. He looks it, but there's also guys on the indie scene that could do it. Like we were talking about Marcus earlier. Marcus is a nice young. He's a young guy. He could play the Karate Kid.
Yeah, true. All right. For like the sensei, what's his name?
Miyagi.
Mr. Miyagi.
Yeah, if I was to go to the past, and I'd use Mr. Fuji.
Mr. Fuji. He'd hit you over the head with the cane if you weren't doing wax on, wax off right. And take that damn cane.
or who would be the sensei, in Japan? That Japanese one too. Remember part 2?
Ooh, get to Jerry to play the sensei.
Let's see. I would have to say for Johnny Lawrence, MJF.
Oh, perfect. Yeah.
Yeah. Serious, man. Serious. Think about it. MJF is Johnny Lawrence. He'd be perfect. Because Johnny's Johnny. MJF's MJF.
Right.
There you go.
I mean, there. Cobra Kai did kind of shine a different light on Johnny, a little bit different than the old movies did. But
well, you know the whole backstory about that, right?
What is it?
Okay, years ago, it circulated online, a fan theory. They said Daniel LaRusso, if you really look at it from this point of view, he was the bully. Johnny was innocent. And people were like, for years, never thought about it. Because if you really look at it from this point of view, okay, Johnny and Allie, okay, were kind of on and off. And it was that moment where they weren't a couple. Daniel comes in, and their first encounter, he punches Johnny. You know what I mean? He gets mad and he punches Johnny. He struck first. So Johnny basically was like, "You're hitting on my girl." He sees Daniel hitting on his girls. It's like, "Hey, you're hitting on my girl." And then he basically, gets mad and takes stereo and smashes it. He didn't even touch a hand on Daniel. And then Daniel punched him first. So Daniel basically moved in on his girl and basically took his girl and then kicked his ass at a karate tournament. So Daniel's the bully. And people were like, wow, we didn't think about that. We're like, yeah, Johnny was done wrong. Justice for Johnny, And so they basically took that fan theory and, even Daniel, Ralph Macchio was like, never thought of it that way. And even, John, the guy who plays Johnny Lawrence, was like, I never thought about that, because they even brought it up on How I Met Your Mother, which was a great show where, what's his name?
Barney, he's like, he loves the Karate Kid, but he thinks that Johnny Lawrence is the Karate Kid.
I love it.
That's okay. All right, so let's get back to playing the game as well. And so who would be the female? Who would be Ralph's female?
What, Allie? Allie?
Yeah.
Who would play Allie? Okay. Let's see. Shoot. I know. She's from AEW. Trying to think. What the heck? The blonde. There's 3 blondes. AEW. Not Penelope Ford. No, I would have to say. Anne.
Oh, Anna J.
Anna J. or Ty, or I'd have to say
Ty Conte. Yeah, Ty Conte.
Yeah, between those
two. Yeah.
That would have to be Allie.
I would have to go with if I was to say, I'd pick Kimberly, maybe.
I was gonna say Allie. I was gonna say Alley Catch. That would be a good one.
Yes. Okay. What about the female, his girlfriend in Japan? Which one would that be?
Who is it? I can't remember how to say her name. She was the first AEW Women's Champion.
Mm-hmm. I was going to say Su Young.
I'm thinking of the wrong one. No, I'm thinking somebody else. Something with an H.
Yeah.
Oh, Shaka.
No,
Yeah.
Hero.
Hero. Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
So you're
Yeah.
thinking,
That's who.
her. Yeah.
All right, Everett, you got one? Who else is on the card? Who could we? Or Mitch, throw a name out. Let's see if we like Karate Kid. So I can't think of all the characters.
I
who would
mean,
be who would
you
be
said-
that punk kid? Who would be that punk kind of kid? Like one of
Chosen? Who'd be chosen?
I was gonna say who would be the sensei from Cobra Kai, the bad dude, Reese or Crease.
Oh,
or whatever.
Reese. Yeah. Who would be Reese? Who do you have in mind for Reese?
I don't know. I'm trying to think of an older kind of tough guy. Ooh, what about Ming, or Haku from back in the day?
Yeah.
Ming could look like he's gonna kill somebody.
That'd be great.
My pick would be John Moxley.
Ooh,
John Moxley is Reese. Oh yeah, that would be great. That would be great, man. That would be great. Now, if you move on to okay, John Silver from Karate Kid Part 3.
Oh, the dude with the ponytail.
Yeah. Who'd be a good John Silver?
He's a little darker, and he's kind of he was always kind of like crazy in a different way than the other one was. The other one's like, I just want you to beat the crap out of these people. He was like, I want you to destroy their lives.
Yeah.
Oh man, yeah, that's a hard one.
I have someone in mind.
Who you got in mind? Let me see.
I have in mind for John Silver, Shawn Michaels.
Oh, see, I was thinking along the same. I'm thinking Chris Jericho.
Chris Jericho. Oh yeah,
that
that would be good. That would be good.
I would say like a Chris Hero.
Yeah,
That'd be a good one.
Well, actually, here's another good one. Here's another good one for Reese. CM Punk.
Ooh, he could play Silver too, though.
Yeah, he can play good John's. Yeah, he could play John Silver. Yeah, he could play that.
Or you could even have John Silver play John Silver, right? AEW.
John Silver play John Silver. John Malkovich being John Malkovich.
I'm going to use my meat sandwich punch. I don't know.
My meat sandwich punch.
Yeah. Because Johnny's the meat man,
Johnny.
Here's Johnny.
Oh man. No, Jack Nicholson will be the next one.
There you go.
Jack Nicholson. Yeah.
But yeah, I didn't. Have you seen the final one? I didn't see the final one yet. I still
The final Karate Kid.
the final fourth Cobra Kai. I didn't find
Season
it.
four.
I have actually. I finished it last week. Man, when you get to the end of that season, the All Valley tournament, the fights are amazing.
Yeah. It's what Daniel's daughter. I loved her fight
Oh yeah.
because to how basically she mixed it up there
Mm-hmm.
and it threw her opponent off right there.
Yeah.
It was like it's like she can't do that. It's like yes she can. It's martial arts.
Right.
Speaking of martial arts, my 4-year-old, we were sitting at the dinner table tonight, and my wife informs me, and my daughter informs me. My wife says, "Do you know what our daughter wants to do besides just doing gym? She don't want to do gymnastics. She don't want to do cheerleading. She don't want to do this. What you know what she wants to do?" And I looked at her and said, "Sweetie, what do you want to do?" And she said, "I want to do karate." I was like, "What?" But then I thought about it because a few weeks ago when I was watching the last few episodes of Cobra Kai there,
Mm.
I was sitting there watching it, and she was in the next room, and she was coming back and forth there, and she sat down and she was watching the All Valley tournament, and she was seeing what they were doing. So there you go. She was seeing those girls kick butt.
You're gonna have to look into that, Everett. That'd be good
Yeah.
for her.
Yeah, she wants to do karate, man. You know, and I told her when she said that, I said, you know, you're the best around, and nothing's ever going to keep you down. My wife just rolled her eyes. And was like, okay, whatever.
Start her young. Start her young. That's
Oh
all.
man, yeah, it's always best, I guess.
Yeah, if she wants to be, if she wants to do karate, she wants to do wrestling, I'm going to support her 100%. She's my daughter. I'm going to let her go out there and do whatever she wants. She wants to.
Can help a
She
lot.
she would go to the wrestling shows with me. She actually, when before the shows, the CFWE shows, when I was setting up for production and stuff, she'd be getting in the ring there while they're trying to set up the ring and getting in there with the kids. And she's sitting there watching them run the ropes. And she'd get in there and run the ropes too. And I had one of the veterans that said, she's moving like a natural, man. And I'm like, she's like, oh, you wouldn't? I was like, I would support her. I would. If she wanted, I'd let her try it and see if she liked it. And if she didn't, she didn't.
Yeah.
You know, that's all you can do.
Yeah, I don't personally have any kids, but when it comes to wrestling, if you have it, I mean, if you have the heart, the will to do it, to try, go for it. You can only, I mean, as long as you want to try, you can go up. You can only go up from there.
Exactly. It's just got to give it a try there. Yep. Yeah, definitely. Yep. But one last thing when I ask you is that like match wise, if I was going to go on YouTube or IWTV, or actually no, I can't, because you said your first match could be on the IWTV. We'll say YouTube. All right. See, I remembered. You know, I'm getting up there in age, but
Hold on. Where's that? Where is it? Damn. Okay.
Where's the dam?
If you're looking for matches, for the most part, I know that they're on there, but there's some that are unlisted because some of the promotions like to do that. You can look up Supreme Wrestling. They're here. They're up in Madison. I did a lot of matches there last year because they're a good place. They run weekly, so I was able to go there and get a lot of reps in, get my help me get my style down a little bit more. I know a guy named Cash Jackson. He posted our match from a few months ago. Cash Jackson Wrestling. You should check it on there. Him versus me. I don't know if MPG posted any of their shows. I did a show for them last month. That's the one that David was talking about. We're at a tables match. Mm-hmm. And then, like I said, I think in 2 weeks, Paradigm's UWFI Contender Season 4, Episode 5, I will be on there against Josh Crane.
Okay.
Josh Crane, Everett, one of the deathmatch wrestler, but also wrestler too as well.
Yeah. The place I trained at where I've had a lot of matches, Grindhouse. I don't know if they've posted any shows recently or from the past year, but they should be posting something here soon. You look up on their Facebook page, you can find on promos and stuff, at least from me, some clips.
Okay.
Yeah.
Speaking of Grindhouse, might as well go ahead and plug the show we got this month while we're talking about
it. We're going to be, plug all you want now. We're going to
January 30th, Grindhouse. It's our first show of the year. It's one of our biggest shows of the year. We call it Rumble. Of course, the end of it I'll be in the back of the Royal Rumble at the end of it, but there's 4 matches before that. It's going to be who was it? Alice Crowley. She's facing someone debuting. Her name's Rebecca Armstrong. That's her name. And then who I was just talking about, Cash Jackson versus Brandon Wolf in a 30-minute Ironman match. And then title match that night, which is something I think you guys would want to see more than anything because the guy that's going to be in it. It's our champion Kevo versus Aaron Williams for the title. So that should be pretty great. And then at the end of the night, be the Rumble winner gets a chance at the Grindhouse Pro title. That's next weekend. And the day before that, I'm on a MPG, which is going to sound bad. It's called MPG Wrestling. I don't actually know what the MPG stands for. But I'm going to be there with my tag partner, a guy named Robert Ketchum. Together we're called the Bruisers, an ode to Bruiser Brody, collectively one of our favorites. We're gonna be in a fatal four-way tag match for the MPG titles against the team or the champions, young guys called Outlast from this area. Another team whose names I think it was Los Luchadores, but the big name in it is going to be Born to Die, Jake Christ, and Corey Storm.
Jake Christ, man, one guy that's really.
I'm excited just getting to stand across the ring from him. And then, like I said, I was telling David already, Saturday night I'm on a pre-show for New Wave Pro's 10-year anniversary. That show, when it drops on, I don't know if the pre-show will be on IWTV, but when it does, the rest of the show does, watch it. JTG versus Lord Crew, Don't Die Miles versus Max the Impaler, Sage Phillips versus Aaron Williams, and the Von Englands versus Shooters Don't Die. So that'll be a
Sage is actually stayed at my house.
Oh, Sage is great, man. I was at the New Wave show last month when he faced Cobra Kai in that dog collar match. If you haven't seen that one, New Wave November Rain, oh my God, the match was bloody. They drug each other around that building like crazy.
I got lucky. Here, I'll tell the story, Mitch. I got lucky. One of your Game Changer did their, one of the Howl shows, and the guys needed a place to stay, and so I was like the host of John Wayne, Reed, and Sage and Cole.
Oh wow!
And Homeless Jimmy from XPW. So that was like a wild ride to have them all in my house just to tell stories and talk. It was great.
Oh yeah, they're great guys. I've met Reed and John a couple of times, but I haven't really gotten to sit down with them personally. But Sage and Cole, I have actually gotten to talk to a few times. They're both really good guys.
Yes, yeah. Briscoes just took them on in the last GCW show. It was a good match.
Yeah, we were talking about Josh Crane. I didn't get to tell this story earlier. It was really funny. I was thinking about it 7 months ago. I was even more unknown than I am now, of course. But I was working backstage in Indianapolis in July, the weekend. It was a three all weekend they did matches: AWR, ICW, No Hold Barred, and Paradigm. And Friday night, the first night of it, I was there all day actually on Friday. I was backstage. So that day I got a crash course from the ICW crew on how to build weapons for death matches.
Nice.
Every light tube.
My friend Tommy. Yes, my friend Tommy. Yes. Okay.
Just about he's the one that taught me. Just about every light tube bundle that night was wrapped by me.
That's so cool.
But, the thing I was talking about Josh Crane, what was crazy is 6 months ago that weekend, that night, Paradigm did a death match. It was Hoodfoot versus Josh Crane. If you haven't, I can't remember the name of the show, but it was like Paradigm Midnight Madness or Midnight something. One of the bloodiest matches I've ever seen. And I don't know if you've seen much Hoodfoot yet, but
Hoodfoot just had a great match at Game Changer as well.
Yes, Hoodfoot is amazing.
He just had a great death match. He stepped out of his element. Yeah. I was reading something online and I watched that match. They said that he stepped out of his element on that one. That's good though, because he's one of those guys that needs,
But I thought it was the thing was I thought it was really crazy. 6 months ago at that show, I was in the back. I was asking Josh like, "Hey, how many light tube bundles you need for this match?" And then flash forward December on UWFI, I'm across the ring from him, getting to punch him. So
yeah,
a wild year for me myself, honestly.
I've seen Josh in Tournament of Deaths. My gosh, crazy. He's had a good run. He's had.
We don't get bloody in that UWFI match, but I will tell you, man, he can hit like a Mack truck.
Yeah.
I guess that's about all I have to ask. You got anything else? Any other events as well?
As of right now, those are the only three that come up.
You got a lot. Yeah, February's booked. I see you got a lot of stuff coming.
I've got some stuff coming in February. It's like I'll be at that's a Grindhouse where I trained at. I'll be at their shows every month for the foreseeable future, at least most this year.
Let me ask you this, Mitch. Would you like to see yourself on the East Coast at Titan Championship Wrestling, one of my local?
Yeah, honestly, this year, what my main goal is about
to travel and
travel. It's getting my name out there, getting out there more. I'm going to be jumping in a lot of cars this year. I've got a couple of buddies that are always like already like, why aren't you riding with us more? So I'm gonna be in the car with him. I will be a lot of times, like if he needs y'all probably seen at least referee Sean P, referee Man Bun, a lot of ICW stuff. He's from the area, and I drive him to shows all the time because he doesn't have a car. So I'll be riding with him to shows. So I mean, like, I'd say look out for me. I'll be popping up in a lot of places this year.
Cool, very awesome. But
nice.
Where can everybody reach you at? I got it right here too.
Yeah, I've my Twitter and Instagram. They are the Hellhound Malik, and then you can find me on Facebook under the Hellhound Mitch Malik. And as you can see on the screen, my Brainbuster tees. You can order my shirts, which would be awesome. I always love to sell some more shirts.
Nice. Mitch, it was great having you on. We maybe Everett want to do this again sometime down the road. Let's do it.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, yeah, I'd love this. I had a blast. Always getting pulled in, you know.
Pull that rope. Pull that rope.
Yeah.
Like I said, Terre Haute this weekend on Saturday, Terre Haute, Indiana. I think that show might be sold out already, but and I'll be in Jeffersonville every last Sunday of every month for Grindhouse, and other than that, I'll be all around.
Nice.
Yeah. Hey Everett, what do you got coming up? Plug away.
What do I got coming up? Well, next week I am going to be doing an straight audio. I found out that Podbeam, my hosting site that does my podcast that I upload, you can actually live stream like live audio shows on there on Podbeam. And I found out that if you download the Podbeam app on your Android or iPhone, and if you sign up and create a username on there, you can listen to live podcast and interact right on the phone. You can actually do that. If you take your phone here and you pull up Podbeam right there, you can actually like look for the Everett Lee Show on there and a lot of other great podcasts on the Podbeam. And Podbeam gives a live section right here. If you hit live, you got all these podcasts that are live that you can jump in and you can interact and stuff. So the Everett Lee Show is going to be live on Podbeam on next Tuesday night, January 25th at 8 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. I am going to get savage with my first live audio stream with none other than PJ Savage is going to be my guest. I got a post up on the Everett Lee Show page. It's on Podcasting Network's Facebook page, Everett Lee Show Facebook page.
And
I don't think Yep, Deathmatch Russell shared it. Thank you, David, for that. I put the link up for the live show. It's scheduled, ready to go 8 p.m. next week. Where you can listen to it. If you're on a computer, you can listen to it, but you can't interact because you have to have the Podbeam app on your phone to interact with the show. So you can listen to it and download it, and then you'll be able to interact and ask questions and stuff. But I got the link right there where you can download it from Apple and Google Play, and that's going to be great. Doing the.
But Everett, that could be also seen on Podcast City Network. .net.
Yeah, Everett Lee Show is on podcastcity.net, along with other great shows such as Deathmatch Russell Podcast, our sports show Final Score, our pop culture shows, The Imaginarium with Scott and Todd, Verbal Shenanigans, our
sexual healing
podcast, our new one, yes. Our what
I know, right? Yeah, we were like,
congratulations. Mindful Sexuality Podcast, our sex therapist, which she's a licensed sex therapist. Yeah, we're branching off in all different directions. We're gonna have Bozo the Clown podcast here in the next few weeks. No, I'm just kidding.
Jackass Everett Leon.
Yeah,
Plays
but
off the old Dr. Ruth from the old days of sex therapy.
yeah, but yeah, it's a good podcast to check out because you can, you can listen to that over there on Podcasting Network. Of course, horror. If you're in the horror, we got Horror Pop After Midnight with Robin Nelson and Nicole. They talk about horror, and of course, Wrestle Popcast with Robin Nelson. And who else am I forgetting? Well, we have a bunch of sports shows. We got the Rip Griffin show. We have Fixed Edge. We have Chris Carnage show. We have Final Score, Everett Lee show, Deathmatch Wrestle podcast, Imaginary Scott and Todd, Verbal Shenanigans, Movie Nights. If you're in the movies, you get your movie information and stuff. That's where I get mine from Dalton and Nick over on Movie Nights. Shout out to those guys. They do a roundtable each week discussing different things. And they do viewer questions. You send them an email, they'll bring it up on their show if you have a question.
And also, Mitch, and also, if you go back and listen to one of Everett Lee's, he actually had one of the cast members of Squid Games, right?
Squid Game.
Oh,
Squid
okay.
Game.
Nice.
Jeffrey Giuliani. I had him on. He played VIP number 4. You seen Squid Game, right?
Most of it. I haven't finished
Most
it.
of it. Did you see it when they get to the part where the VIPs come in?
Actually, I don't think I did. I've only watched up to like episode 5.
Okay. All right. I'm not going to say anything else. When the VIPs come in, the old guy, that's all I'm going to say. You'll know which old guy because it's not going to, all right. I'll throw this line out there. If you could please me within 5 minutes, that's all I'm going to say. And you'll know who I'm talking about. And if you're on your phone and you go to the Everett Lee Show Facebook page and you hit the podcast app section, you can also pull up the podcast and listen to it right there on your phone right there.
Everett was like, that was one of his coolest ones he did. I was like, this is awesome to get somebody who was in that TV's, and that
Right.
part of that.
Yeah, there he is. Right there. You can, if you have your phone and you go to Everett Lee Show Facebook page, just click on that. You can listen to it right there on your.
You could just even share it to them. You could even send it to them. That's easy.
Yeah. I'll share it. And then I do got to say this, with that episode, helped me break into the top 100 on iTunes in Canada.
Oh, wow.
Shout out to Canada. Yeah. Who'd expect? Ole, ole. Hey.
No, hey.
A lot of love to my Canadians. Thank you.
Hey. That's it. We're done.
Yeah.
I want to say, Mitch, thank you for coming on. And
Thank you guys for having me. Thank you very much.
Good luck with your upcoming shows and kill it and win it and have fun. And
All right, I plan to.
Come out alive also.
Always come out safe. That's the main goal going in. Coming in.
You got anything for your opponent to say? Any last words? Come on. Let me throw something.
Let me say, Lobo Okami and Jack Kennedy I'm facing this week. I'm just tell them watch out. Lobo knows what I can do. Jack ain't seen me, and New Wave's never seen me, so they're about to get something. They're about to get a show. Trust me, I'm gonna put them through the ringer. We'll get a good match going on there.
There you go. You heard it here on the Deathmatch Wrestle podcast, folks. Good night, everybody.
Night.
Till next time.
Night.
Good night.
You can find more Deathmatch Russell podcasts on the following social media: deathmatchrussell.com, follow on Twitter @DavidNJ32, and on Facebook, facebook.com/DJDaveNJ32, Instagram @DavidNJ36. Hey, wrestling fans, I want to mention Collar and Elbow. Collar and Elbow was founded on traditional values of professional wrestling. Two entities working together to create a product intended to connect with people on an emotional level, a symbiotic relationship where one cannot flourish without the other. We strive to create a product that embodies our passion for professional wrestling expressed through street fashion. Visit collarandelbowbrand.com and use the promo code code DeathmatchRussellPodcast and save 10% off when you make a purchase. Collar and Elbow, where wrestling passion meets street fashion. Me on Podcast City Network at podcastcity.net, facebook.com/Podcast City Network. Hit the like button and share. And on Twitter at Podcast City Net. Also on Johnner's Wrestling Podcast Network, www.wrestlingwithjohners.com. You can hear Deathmatch Russell Podcast on Stitcher Radio and on iTunes.